Good morning! Today is Friday! Today is Friday! Friday, 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 Friday. Woo, woo, woo. Good morning! Today is Friday! And we complete the lesson 3 today of the book. Third graders, we are advancing. The next week, we are going to have online. La otra semana ya voy a publicar aquí en el muro. I'm going to post when is going to be our own online class to make a review with you. Woo, woo. We have to be positive this morning. Okay, warriors. I want to show you something important. It is the Google Classroom. Pay attention. This is the Google Classroom of third grade. In here, Mr. Marvin is going to post the day that we are going to have the class. Ya ahorita lo vamos a ir posteando. You're going to know when, right? And in here, you can watch the videos. In classwork, you can check your assignments and your homework, right? Remember that homework is equal to classwork, right? Actually, Mr. Marvin didn't ask for classwork. I'm not asking, I'm giving the videos only. If you see, we have one video, we have the book, right? You should have it now. We have the video, one video, this is the video example, lesson 1, video lesson 1, video lesson 2, and this one, the video lesson 3. We are advancing, people, so you have to be ready. Okay, in here, Mr. Marvin is going to check if you are in the list, if you're on the list of the students, okay? Your name is important. Your name, not the name of your mom, not the name of your dad. Your name, because I need to know who is in the picture of you. The picture, okay? The picture of you. Aquí no hay foto, miren. I need to see the picture of you. It's important to make the things in order. Luke is the name of the student, not the name of the teacher. The name of the parent, of the father, of the mom. No. Luke is important, the picture of you. Okay? Because Mr. Marvin is going to give the assignments for next week. And if you are not in the list, you're not going to have the points. El sistema registra automáticamente cuando yo califico. Entonces es importante para los papis que están ahí que tengan el nombre del estudiante. Ya voy a revisar este fin de semana. Y también la foto, ¿verdad? Es importante. Eso no cuesta nada. Una foto y subirla ahí en el usuario del Gmail. Super easy. ¿Va? Si no les podemos ayudar. Bueno, ok. Let's go to the presentation number 3 lesson. The third lesson is the topic of the lesson 3. Okay, remember the classwork, right? All the classwork you have to save it away until Mr. Marvin asks for it. Okay, the scientific toolbox is the topic, page 10 of the book, right? Wow! And this is like an example of one box, right? When we say toolbox, we are telling that we have this box with materials or instruments or tools of science. Something similar, but in the book, on the page 10, we are going to see what's going on with this. Okay, this is another example of the toolbox, right? Tool is something that can help you, right? What is the problem? What's the problem? What's the idea? And what's the best idea, right? Well, these are only pictures, only one example of one toolbox. Can you imagine? So the question is, the best science app. Chicos, it's important to explore in the cell phone, if you have time, that we have science applications that it's like games. Every app, it's like game. For example, these are important, so you can see the examples: Science Kids, right? Bio INC, Dinos Kids. So you can see different applications of science. If you want to play, you can play with the applications of science. Okay, you are going to stay playing and learning at the same time. Okay, so apps. Okay, the scientist, right? The scientist and the toolbox of scientists. We are going to start our lesson with the information of the book. Science is in everywhere, or is everywhere, right? The science toolbox is the topic. How do scientists see bacteria? Question number 1. How do they measure the distance to the moon? It's a good question. To build a house, a carpenter needs a hammer and a saw. To fix a car, a mechanic needs tools, right? For example, the screwdriver and the wrench. Having the right tool for the right job. Obviously, Mr. Obviously, right? So, like any other worker, a scientist needs tools as well. The exact tool he or she uses depend on what needs to be known. Measuring is one of the most common scientific tasks. Whether it's time, weight, temperature, or length, every measurement needs to be accurate, right? If a measurement hasn't been made carefully, the result cannot or can be trust, right? So it's important to know that the scientists need the scientific needs the correct tools, depend the activity that it's doing. For example, if we say that we are scientific or scientists, right? Or we were learning about science, we in our case, what tools we need? The notebook, the pencil, maybe one calculator, or maybe the computer, the cell phone, and the internet, right? This is our toolbox, right? So why? Because we are studying or learning science. Other example, right? Scientists use the metric system for their measurement, right? Estas son las medidas. Rulers used to check length have marks on them showing centimeters. Repeat after me. Centimeters and millimeters. The millimeters and the centimeters are unit of measurement. Eso está en su regla. If you see the ruler, you have the millimeters that are very small and the centimeters that a little bit bigger, right? You're going to see this in math. Ya en matemáticas van a ir aprendiendo también eso. Measuring tap, right? So, it's important to know that the scientist needs to know the name of the tools and what for each tool is ready, right? The longest measurements are made using lasers. In some cases, the scientists use, right? Scientists use lasers, right? So it's important the amount of time the laser beam needs to hit an object and reflect back shows the distance. With one laser, you can measure the distance if it's long or short, right? We are talking about technology, right? In here, we use the ruler, mister. Y en el pueblo ya no usan la regla, y usan una cabullita para medir. Vamos a ver, dice. Tanto, right? Depend, right? You can use lasers too. In the book, it's telling that the scientists can use, or scientifics can use lasers. It depends the activity, right? So, thermometers help scientists, right, find the temperature. Repeat after me. Temperature. Temperature. What is temperature? Tiene fiebre. Fever, right? The temperature It's going to tell you if it's hot or cold, right? The amount of heat, here is the definition. The amount of heat something has. Scientific thermometers use the Celsius scale. This is like a chemic, right? For many years, thermometers were filled with mercury. The thermometers are filled with mercury, but now they use Celsius. It rose or fell inside them based on the amount of heat, right? To see the heat of the planet too, right? Everything is about the sunshine, right? So, this is an important topic to see often what a scientist needs to study, right? You need to know too. Is too small or far away to be seen without help. No miro. ¿Qué es eso? Ah, the microscope. Ah, it's one hamburger. It's one pizza. But no, the scientists see bacteria and other things. Okay, in conclusion, thermometers. Repeat, thermometers. Microscopes. Microscopes. Right? Repeat after me. Metric system. Metric system. Measurement. Measurement. Right? Lasers. Lasers. Okay. Classwork. It's time to work. It's time to work. The classwork is super easy. Okay? Third graders, you're going to answer. Circle the letter of the best answer to each question below. Question number 1. Scientists use space to measure distance. Rulers? Lasers? The metric system? All of the above? Number 2, what do microscopes and telescopes have in common? They both use lasers. They are both used to see tiny objects. Tiny. Do you think the telescope see tiny things? No, remember the telescope see long. And the microscope see micro. The name says micro. Telescope is to see the planets, right? Remember, they both contain lenses. Both B and C. Okay. Choose your answer. Copy in the notebook. Tienen que copiar esto en su cuadernito. Lo pueden imprimir si quieren. Vayan guardando eso. And the number 3. The Celsius scale is used for measuring A. Temperature. B. Distance. C. Weight. Right? And D. The size of bacteria. Mister. Super easy. Right? This is easy. In the notebook, please. See you the next class. Remember, the topic is the scientist toolbox. Remember, to build a house, a carpenter needs a hammer and saw. To fix a car, the mechanic needs screwdrivers, wrench, and other things. So, the scientist needs the tools, right? So, it's important to know. See you in the next class. Bye bye. Love you so much, third graders. La otra semana nos conectamos en vivo aquí eso es para los padres. Aquí voy a poner la fecha en la que nos vamos a conectar. Así que estar pendientes del día. Bye, warriors. See you. Happy Friday. Happy weekend.